everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Soundbites for Immigration Success. We're so pleased to have you with us today. We bring this series to you so you can get to know your fellow consultant, hear their story and their challenges, and how they've tackled those challenges. And then the final piece is some takeaway advice for you, whether you're new or seasoned. We hope that you gain something from meeting our next generation. So I'm very excited to have with us today Peri Wong. Hi, Peri. How are you?
Hi, Monica. Thank you very much for having me. This is all my pleasure.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm doing great.
oh, it's so good to have you. Peri, tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to become an immigration consultant.
Absolutely. So I'm based in Edmonton, Alberta. I I'm actually really new. I graduated from the Queen's program in October 2022, and I received my letter of authority in February 2023, so just 1 year ago. And then I started working as an RCIC-IRB since then. I am currently working with SIMA Immigration Consultants and Recruitment based in Edmonton as one of the RCICs in the team. And I mainly focus on PR programs under economic classes.
Thank you. Well,
My, yeah,
congratulations, by the way. That's very
thank you
exciting.
very much. I think this year is a life-changing year. I feel like a different person from who I was a year ago.
Yes. And of course, you've entered an industry where things are changing all the time. Not only is life change for you, but programs change. Peri, what inspired you actually to decide to take the Queen's program and actually become an immigration consultant?
It was actually quite personal. It started all from my personal immigration journey. So I was having difficulties locating information about the self-employed persons class, where I came from. And all I could find was very, very limited and even conflicting information from various online sources. So back then I was in Hong Kong. So I reached out to some agencies or consultants, whether they were ghosts or not. I don't know. I can't tell now. And even some lawyers based in Hong Kong. Some did not know about the program at all. Some gave wrong information. Some were simply suspicious. Or maybe because that was just I had too many questions in my head. And I ended up reading the regulations, operational instructions, and case law, um, IRCC open data myself. And little did I know that actually planted a seed in the new career I was going to start. So sometimes after that, our application was approved, and I started going through the most common newcomer to be mental process, like thinking about what I'm gonna do when I come to Canada. And just one day, someone who knew about the extent I did all my research told me about the new Queen's program and jokingly said, you would be a good candidate for this program, which then inspired me to think or overthink, no, just think that maybe I can find answers to my questions there. So I tried to apply and fortunately was admitted to the program. Then I started studying this super intensive program full time, just 1.5 months after my first landing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you literally landed, and then within weeks you started in the immigration consulting program through Queens,
Yeah, just like that. And it happened and I survived, and the rest is history.
and you came out the other side. So really, you're also a new immigrant to Canada then.
Yes, yes. While I was still settling, finding like a permanent place to live, settling my dog was
Oh,
very
very good.
intensive.
So you ended up doing your immigration case on your own then.
Yes, that
So
was fun.
you can really relate to your clients then who are trying to figure things out and confused and overwhelmed.
Yes, and lost many of the times. Like, oh, I see this information, bits and pieces here and there, but I don't know which one I can trust, or yeah, I understand all that feeling.
Well, as practitioners, we're forever grateful the way the information is on the website because it means people have to come to us for clarity, right?
Hmm.
So, just one last question about your before life. So, what was it that you were doing in Hong Kong? and inspired you to maybe totally change careers? If you want to share, you don't have to.
Yeah, it's very interesting from my point of view. I had work experience with multinational corporates specializing in medical assistance and medical transportation. I also had a little bit experience in legal translation and interpretation. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, a master of arts degree, but there's nothing like before starting the Queen's program or even noticing the Queen's program. I've never imagined myself in this career industry back then.
Yeah, well, you come with a very varied background and well educated, but it goes to show that we can all sort of reinvent ourselves. And gosh, and I hope for people who are listening today, that they should take Perry's experience and to know that it can be done with work and luck and the right connections and taking advantage of those opportunities. So, Perry, I know you're working for an immigration firm.
Mhm.
But that comes with its own challenges too, right? So what for
Yes.
you has been the greatest challenge? And you can take this on if you want in terms of dealing with files, with the changing legislation, with the technology, or you could take it on a more personal level, and how to adapt and finding your own path. Like what for you has been the biggest challenge?
Yeah, to me, it's rather personal. To me, my biggest challenge so far would be my constant thought that I am not competent enough. I like the belief that I don't know everything and I do not have answers to all questions, although I know I have ways and I know my ways to look for answers. But my biggest fear is always, what do I not know? Um, but speaking of which, I'm truly grateful to be working in a firm, as you said, with a team, and I have my boss, my mentor, and close colleagues who would always support me whenever I'm doubting myself. And I really appreciate the way we always have professional and constructive discussions on immigration law related matters.
So,
Um, I also have other challenges, but perhaps after you.
oh, okay. Well, I mean, if you want to share them, you certainly can. So, what you've given us probably your biggest personal challenge, and you've also given us a solution to that. And your challenge is, am I good enough? Do I know enough? Do I have the right answers? And I
Mhm.
want to tell you, as a practitioner of over 25 years experience, still at 25 years of experience, I still have those same worries because, Perry, we are in an industry that is so large and so vast. There's so many niches, there's so many parts of it, and it's changing so much, especially in the last 5 years. There's program changes, there's policy changes, there's legislative changes, and it's impossible to know everything. And the very fact that you can say that I don't know it all and I will never know it all, and that a competent and good consultant will research and find the information and to acknowledge that. So I think that's one step, and you've already done that. And then putting yourself in a place where you can talk to people, you can bounce ideas off, or say, "I'm struggling with this. What do you think?" I think that's one step. So I hate to say, you'll at least for me, I still have those doubts sometimes
Oh,
about things, and but it's just learning how to handle that and understanding that, acknowledging that, I think can make you a good consultant, and knowing how to find out that information, or if it's something is totally beyond your pay grade, co-counseling or referring the case on. But you said you wanted to share another dilemma.
um, I can actually think of two more.
Okay.
The next one would be like file management, prioritization, because we all know that all clients think and believe they are the priority. Um, it's just like we know something is the best, and there is a list of the best things that we have, but there are always something that is the best of the best. Like the more urgent files that should be more prioritized. So that sometimes I don't really find it as a true struggle. It's just that it sometimes annoys me on personal level. Like, I know I have to handle this, but time is limited. So that is another challenge I'm facing. Um, the other one I can think of would be more on self-care, work-life balance level. Sometimes I do, like, suddenly in the middle of the night, I think of a file or a client, the deadline's coming up. Oh, did I miss something? Sometimes it even come into my dream. So I don't know, I'm still learning. Monica, do you have any tips on that?
Well, both those are great challenges. Let me tackle the self-care one. Um, yeah, that's hard because it's a pressure business, right? Like it's pressure. We've got deadlines and the
Mm-hmm.
clients are pressure. And
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about which files are priority. And sometimes it's the client who puts on the most pressure who often becomes the
Mm-hmm.
biggest priority because you have to get them off your back. So in
Mm-hmm.
terms of self-care, it's really allocating time for yourself, really shutting off your computer, shutting off your phone, and making sure that you have enough time for yourself and that you're looking after you, that you're getting, it seems so cliche to say, but to make sure that you're getting enough sleep, you're eating well, that you're exercising, and that you're connecting with people. And
Mm-hmm.
just just those basic steps. I mean, they certainly help me. And I know sometimes I will work late into the night and I'm like, what am I doing? So I think it's looking after you, Perry, and understanding at the end of the day um, that it's a job. And yes, you've got these pressures on you, but you turn your computer off. You have to work to disconnect. Like, not. I know a lot of people put their business on their phone. A lot of people make themselves accessible 24/7. I think you have to be really careful about those things and make sure that you disconnect, and that having really good communication with your clients so that your clients are aware
Right.
of the steps in the process, the timelines, and making them investing in that relationship with them so that they're part of the process and so that they
Right.
understand. That's that's what always works with me, and not being afraid to sometimes say to your client or to boss or to your workmates to say, you know what, I'm really struggling with this right now. I'm going to step away. I'm going to take a little bit of time and think about this submission, or say to your client, it's okay to say, you know what, we had an emergency situation. I had to put your file aside, and then we had to come back to it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just being honest and looking after you. And with regard to the priority, I think you know yourself. Sometimes priority is it may go by deadline, it may go by the
Mm-hmm.
type of file, it may go by who the client is. And I think within, I'm sure you have a system where
Right.
you have to try to prioritize, but it's a little bit of a work in progress too. As you're a new consultant, you'll find ways that work for you and you'll find strategies that help with self-care. But
Mm-hmm.
of course, Perry, if it's a real struggle, that you would also seek outside support, right? And
Right.
not to say that you're anywhere near that, but if you feel that you're struggling personally, not sleeping well, I would encourage anybody to not be afraid to chat with somebody and seek some extra help.
Right. That's a good reminder. I'm not there yet. Don't worry.
No, and I don't think so too. I think you're just a little bit. Yeah, I certainly wake up in the middle of the night and think, oh my God, did I upload that? Or yeah,
Yeah.
I've certainly been there. I've certainly
And
been
that's
there.
exactly also a reason why I decided to, like, to be an employee to start with instead of running my own business, because I don't think I can manage all the pressure just by myself. So it's really good to be with a team where I can share, um, and just like voice out if I need extra help or something like that. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, Perry, I can totally relate to that, having worked for a firm for many years and having the opportunity to take it over, and not wanting that pressure of meeting payroll and paying the bills and being the one who was ultimately responsible. It's funny, could take on the pressure of submitting your own case, but it's taking on all those other pressures. I totally relate. So, Perry, now that you've been doing this you did your own immigration journey, and then you took the Queen's course, and now you've been a licensed consultant for just over a year, or just a year.
Mhm.
What advice do you have for somebody maybe who's just finishing up the course, or what do you wish you had known maybe a year or two ago?
Right.
Hard question.
It is indeed. But I think right before I started the Queen's program, like right after being admitted to the program, I was also doubting myself whether I can do it because I have no prior experience in the industry. Like there was only this one file that I did for myself, and I I didn't I didn't know whether I can make it. But now looking back, um, I'm actually grateful to have learned some crucial transferable skills from my past experience. Um, and that helped me survive my first year. So even if any new licensee had no prior experience in the industry, you may actually find some of these skills which may help you thrive in the field in the long run. Um, I can think of language ability, like the way you read, your reading skills. It's not just reading for the program, but all the policies, case law, um, that with this reading skill will absolutely help you get into the industry and ensure that you're doing your job right. Um, like writing skill, how you present information in logical sense, your communication skills, not only external communication with clients or government bodies, but also internally with your team. Um, soft skills like time management, expectation setting, attention to detail. Some of these skills you may have it already in your possession, even if you have no zero prior experience in immigration. And very importantly, your learning attitude, regardless of how long you've been working in the field. As Monica just shared, the industry is ever changing in many ways. So just keep this learning attitude, um, and it will benefit you and your client. I personally enjoy being in a firm, and I would recommend every new licensee consider joining a firm. But of course, it's a personal choice. But whichever way you choose to practice, always remember to be ethical and be compassionate because we can only grow the industry by doing this together.
Wow. Wow. Really insightful and personal testament of, your own journey and sharing that and sort of passing it on. I love what you said that, you basically said it'll be hard and you'll doubt yourself, but sort of don't give up. Think of the transferable skills that you have and consider investing in, skills like you said, like reading well, listening, writing, and developing those soft skills and knowing that you kind of got this, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Gosh, Perry, we could continue this conversation for forever. I really love chatting with you and learning about you, and you've been so honest and authentic. Um, but I have every confidence in you that you're going to make your mark, that you're going to serve your clients well, that you're going to continue to grow, and you're going to gain that confidence so that hopefully you're not going to continue to wake up at night and be worried about your clients. But you talked about being ethical and compassionate. Having that compassion throughout your whole career will serve you well. Um,
Yeah, that is also what I see from my boss, Marty, and my mentor, Ben. So it's learning from everyone with me, and I truly appreciate that.
yeah. And being compassionate, but not only to yourself and your colleagues and to the industry, but to be compassionate and kind to yourself, to know that you're doing the best that you can and recognizing when you might need some help, whether it's professionally or personally, and to allow yourself to grow. Perry, any final words that you have for our audience today?
Just keep going. Don't struggle. If there's anything you need help, then seek help. There's a lot of people out there. Even if you are practicing running your own business or practicing by yourself, you can find a community out there which will help you in both professional knowledge aspect and personal level, like CAPIC.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, Peri, we're so glad to have you part of the CAPIC community and for your involvement. I know you've taken on different roles and different tasks, and we're very excited to have you part of the family. And as you say, be part of the network and receive support and gain support. Because I think, as you say, we could only grow together, personally,
Yep,
professionally, and industry wise.
absolutely.
Peri, thank you.
Thank you very much, Monica.
And thank you to our audience. We hope you enjoyed hearing Peri's story and her challenges and her takeaways and her pieces of advice. We look forward to having you back on our next podcast. Thank you again.